Hey, welcome to the first Dead Matter vlog. This vlog covers development from roughly the start of May to about mid-June. Our first trailer was released mainly teasing our vehicles and gunplay. We aimed to make our vehicles and our gunplay a significant improvement over the last trailer that we released. We will be releasing a survival trailer before our closed Q4 alpha test, which will demonstrate the abilities needed to survive in Dead Matter. To start off, the code side of things have been very active this last month. We've got an improved zombie behavior based on feedback from our last trailer. We've also tweaked some of their animations. Now, instead of zombies taking long journeys around fences, they will actually try to attack you over the fence. They will now knock over cones and other construction signs if there isn't a way to walk around them. This will allow the undead to have easier access to you at any time. We've also improved some of their flocking behaviors. You will not be safe on top of a car or inside of an unbarricaded building.
Emergency management. They might as well just say final solution. So close for population growth.
Where'd you guys go? Dying Light 2 features a functioning ecosystem that reacts on multiple levels to the things you do and the choices you make. In the example we're about to show you, our protagonist undertakes a mission for the Peacekeepers, one of the many factions active in the city. They want you to negotiate with two survivors who are controlling and hoarding a water supply.
Are you going to insult us with another final offer?
Let's say you choose to carry out the Peacekeepers' orders, one way or another.
Stay back!
After this, you'll start seeing a significant change in the city, as access to the water supply has allowed the Peacekeepers to bring stability and develop the area. There's even running water for the people at street level. And that raises their morale and allows you to replenish your energy on the go. But there's a cost to this. The PKs have a rigid approach to law and order. So while the streets may be safer, it's only safe for those who side with them. So if you get on their bad side. Now let's return to that moment of choice. And instead of killing them, you choose to team up with this group to supply water in the black market. As you will see, this creates a very different set of consequences for the city. With water being a precious currency, it brings you access to new resources and trade. But this in turn attracts the worst type of people to the area.
St. John, like, what was the inspiration behind this character?
Well, a few things. He's broken. So you saw from a couple of trailers that we've released that he's lost someone and it's scarred him in a way. And it's like Jeff would like to say, everybody loses people, in these kinds of end of the world scenarios. So what's particular about Deacon though is that he was an ex-member of an outlaw motorcycle club. And therefore, he has a love of the open road. He has a love of motorcycles.
Yeah.
There's a sense of brotherhood, and you can see that here in these scenes with him and his best friend, Boozer. And so it was that combination that really sort of drew us to this particular character.
Right, we're going to continue to learn about him as you're playing the game, correct? About him and his backstory and why he is the way he is.
I mean, the bike is very important, right, as well? Like,
yeah, we almost consider the bike to be another character.
Yeah.
Because you only get one, and you're constantly upgrading it, you're constantly trying to repair it, you need to keep it refueled, and if you lose it, you got to go find it, and you know you can't whistle for a new one. So
You can't whistle.
right,
Like a horse.
Yeah, the refueling mechanic is a huge game design choice. I really, really like that. Can you talk more about how important it's going to be to be able to find fuel?
Sorry.
So the refueling mechanic, and actually you have to find gas to keep your bike going. It's a mechanic we haven't really seen done to this extent before. Can you talk more about that and how it changes the gameplay?
Well, like in this demo, one of the things that Jeff's taking the run and gun approach. So we like to call it sandbox combat. So basically what you can do is you can run and gun, you can stealth your way through, and your goal here is to get and find a bike part, right? So you're here actually for kind of a trivial reason. You've risked your friend's life to come and get a part for your bike. And so that shows a little bit about Deacon's character. But then as you watch Jeff play through this wide linear sequence, he can play it 100 different ways. And if you watch other people play, you'll see that, okay, they didn't take this route. They didn't stop and check the trunk of this police car. And those are kind of like our treasure chests throughout the world. So you're always on the lookout for those because that's how you're going to find ammo and health kits. And then you're seeing one of our stealth mechanics here. If you're quiet, if you crouch walk and you walk up behind an enemy, then you have the opportunity for a stealth takedown.
And what can you tell us about the freakers? Because they're quite unique. And we've seen, you know, a fair few undead enemies in video games before. What makes the freakers unique, and what was your decision-making behind making them the way they are?
They're alive.
They're alive.
Yeah, they're not zombies. They're alive. And so that sounds trivial, but it's not, because it basically means we have a full day-night cycle in the game.
Right.
And they have things that they do. There's an ecosystem, and they have to eat, they have to drink, they have to hibernate. And so you will find them, like in this scenario, you'll see that there's some nests, and freakers build nests for reasons you discover while you're playing the game. And then you can take those nest zones out in order to free up fast travel routes. So it becomes part of the metagame. But freakers are evolving. They're living creatures who have been affected by this virus, and there's several different types. And some of our trailers you've seen, we've shown the screamer, which is a female that can have sort of alarm system that will bring in more freakers. Right. We have the infected bear, so it infects animals. In our last trailer, we showed
mountain lion and the crows.
Right, so you have so it's just it's a wide variety of challenges for the player, and like we said, the world comes for you, and that's part of it. Is that these creatures are always after you, and at night they're stronger.
Yeah.
If it starts raining, they become stronger.
But I've seen in previous trailers Deacon actually utilizing the freakers as a weapon against his enemy as well. So you can actually use them to your advantage as well as the environment itself.
Yeah, absolutely. We call it the freakosystem. So in this scenario, there's not a lot of chance for that, but if he were fighting marauders or rippers, then he could find a nearby swarm. It's an open world, so you can just explore. You can find other tools like a swarm or a freaker bear, and you can bring them into an enemy camp and watch the sort of mayhem that happens.
I guess you've got to be careful, though. You don't get kind of sucked into it.
Yeah.
I like this gun, you guys. So you have melee combat and you have gun combat. Can you talk about how you designed and balanced for both?
It's like so many different scenarios require the player to determine how they want to play it, right? So that's why we have like this full set of stealth mechanics. We have a full set of weapons that you can upgrade, and in order to do that, you have to go to the human encampment. So there's survivor encampments in the world, the only places in the world where it's safe. And you have to do jobs and missions with them in order to earn trust. And then once you earn trust, the merchants there will sell you them.
Ah, I like that.
And then it's like, and if you want to upgrade your shotgun, or you want to upgrade, or you want to buy a silencer for it, then you have to have enough trust at that encampment in order to do that.
Boozer. Exctinction brings you to the apocalyptic lands of Eden Nadir, in which survivors must endure and conquer the open world to outlast the Wanderers. Alone, or with friends, you will be faced with many tough decisions which will impact the world around you. Whether you choose to challenge yourself in the non-linear story or go off the beaten path, you will need to evolve your character and playstyle to survive. Before the outbreak, Eden Nadir was a thriving community, populated by families and businesses, alive with commerce and industry. It now lies in ruins, but the people of Eden Nadir have not given up hope. Jaws of Extinction has an expansive and immersive story. In single player, you'll be working alone to unravel the mysteries of the island. In multiplayer, players must work together to progress the main quest. In addition to the main story, random world events will also occur around the island. Strongholds may come under attack and need defending, or groups might put out a call for help. You can decide to tackle these events by yourself, or work together with other survivors to increase your chances of survival, if you choose to help at all. How you choose to play will be reflected in our adaptive skills system, which allows you to develop the skills you feel are the most important. Whether you wish to raise your combative prowess to help defend against the undead, or develop your construction knowledge to build a better future, the more you practice an ability, the better you'll get at doing it. Traversing the treacherous land of Eden Nadir offers the perfect opportunity to pick up new skills, allowing you to evolve as a character. If you decide to work alongside fellow survivors, you'll have the opportunity to create flourishing communities. Or you may decide to live in complete isolation. Whatever your choice, you'll be given the freedom to customize the area you live in. Whether you prefer to claim a shack out in the woods, or build a beacon of hope for survivors, you'll be able to defend your territory against enemies, with bespoke fortifications and traps. In addition to customizing your own home, you'll also be able to create and modify various tools and weapons with our integrated crafting system. Using items that you've scavenged from nearby cities, or materials you've grown and harvested yourself, you'll be able to make vital equipment which will aid in your survival. The mechanics we have introduced to replicate survival are designed to mimic real life as closely as possible. Temperature, hunger, thirst, and wellness must be monitored and maintained if you wish to avoid the impeding consequences. Your survival skills will be tested even further with our dynamic weather and season cycle. Every inch of Eden Nadir's 67-kilometre-squared map will dynamically change as you play. You will have to adapt to your surroundings if you want to survive. Throughout Eden Nadir, you will come across various types of vehicles. From HGVs to SUVs, you will be able to customize and upgrade them to prepare for the apocalyptic world. Attaching defensive plows and reinforced armor will protect you from wanderers and rogue survivors alike. However, working vehicles aren't always easy to come by. Your transport will need to be repaired and maintained if you intend on mowing down hordes of wanderers. Within Eden Nadir, the undead will pose a constant threat. However, you shouldn't underestimate the living. Every type of character and creature you discover will have their own AI and will respond differently to your actions. To ensure your success, you will have to adapt your playstyle to each encounter. If violence ensues, valuable items or resources may be found on the Fallen, which can aid in your survival. Jaws of Extinction aims to make combat feel as realistic and immersive as possible. You'll be able to defend yourself unarmed, as well as use
your speech pattern and your accent, you sound like you could be like a nefarious weapons dealer. Like you opened the trunk and you were just listing off all the stuff you have for sale and stuff. Yeah. Nice work.
Have you seen that scene in Taxi Driver where he goes to buy a gun? He's like, "It's a very nice gun. I got this gun. I got this." That's me now.
Nice. All right. Yeah. I'll be Travis Bick.
Okay. That's scary, but yeah. Okay. Let's do it.
All right.
So the hordes of zombies in this game, I think it's very, very unique because, like in the movie, they're going to just be constantly running over each other, and that means that they could be piling on top of each other and then running over the pile. So you know, they'd be able to maybe possibly reach you on the second floor, where you think you're perfectly safe.
Oh yeah.
So I think that's a really interesting thing to bring to this genre, especially. I mean, we're pretty much getting used to fast zombies.
You can see right there, they're actually pyramiding up now.
Oh my God.
And climbing the walls.
to me, that is terrifying. If I was playing this game, I don't know.
Well, it's great because the guys have put such an enormous amount of work into the physics system that governs those zombies and how they move. And so you're never safe anywhere. There's nowhere to hide. They will climb the walls, they'll climb over buildings. And actually, when we were designing the zombies, we put a lot of thought into the psychology of the zombie. Because, of course, they have no fear. They're not like another enemy where you can break their morale. They're not afraid of their own, they're not afraid of injuring themselves. So if they see you, they will throw themselves from the rooftops. They will climb through burning cars. They'll do anything to get to you, and they won't stop.
No, that's one of the awesome things that we were talking about before we got on stage here was the zombie AI and how they work and stuff like that. And I've always liked the idea better of an intelligent or a more like a hunter zombie. Also, can we call them ZEUX?
We can call them ZEUX.
By the way, zombies are sometimes called ZEUX in this game and in the books and the movies and stuff. So let's call them ZEUX from now on. You heard it here. Anyway, no, I love that the idea of hunting. Like they're trying to eat you for food or trying to procreate, which are like the two basis instincts of any living thing.
There's no zombie procreation in our game, I'm afraid to say.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm afraid there's.
Oh, that's what I meant. I didn't mean like making love.
Okay.
I meant like biting and turning.
Transmission. Okay.
That's what I meant.
Okay, right. I see. Okay.
Get your mind out of the gutter, man. Come on.
Like, what can I do?
Oh my goodness.
No, do they? Because it looks like they flow like a ant hive.
Yes.
Or ant hive. Ant colony.
Yeah,
there you go.
An ant colony, yeah.
An ant hive, whatever.
Yeah, sure. Let's make some metaphors.
Sure. But yeah, it looks like they like work like that. Like they swarm.
They're not just 500 kind of independent individuals. They respond as a swarm, and so they will move and flow, not just with. I mean, when they see you, they'll move towards you the best way they can. But if there's a wall in the way, they'll pyramid up and try and get over the top of each other and over the edge. But also, a lot of them, if you shoot them and they collapse in front of you, the ones behind will just trample over the top of them.
Just to get to you.
Exactly, just to get to you. And I can tell you, when you're standing there and the only thing you've got is you've run out of primary ammo and you've just got your silenced pistol and you've got 300 zombies coming towards you, it's pretty damn scary.
Yeah. Well, that's going to be me, obviously, because I've never been very accurate. I've always been a spray and pray kind of guy.
Yeah.
But thankfully, you said there's a myriad of weapon choices, so
yes,
I can be the heavy guy.
Yes, you can.
Like, not just the heavy guy, but
there's we've got character development, so you've got progression. I mean, as you build up experience, you can develop your character. You specialize in a class. You have a skill tree. You've got weapon progression as well, so you're customizing your weapons and building up on that. So there's just so much room for growth in the game.
Can you tell us more about the characters? Are these player created or are these specific characters that you've written?
Yeah, so we've written these characters. We've put a lot of thought into their backstories. What I like so much about the book is there's a lot of normal people who survived in the war because of characteristics they already had. We've gone down the same route. So in the New York episode that we're demoing, you've got Arnetta Larkin, who she's a woman. She's
I was gonna say that's a whole genre, the cooperative stealth genre.
Yeah. So we do a lot of crazy stuff that's not really. I mean, I think it's been tried before a lot.
Yeah.
But it's really hard to get to this point. It's taken us about 3 years to get here.
Right.
So it's been a lot of work just trying to get to that. You know, getting a game that has this dramatic curve in it, where you can go from sneaking to combat back to sneaking.
Yeah.
And actually never to the point where you're like, if you get detective, you don't quit the game and let's restart. There's always like a benefit to continuing. As long as you can survive.
Yes.
You should be fine. You know.
Wow, and that's as you said, 4 of you all together, sort of.
You know, there's a lot of. We have a very. Quite advanced generative tool set to make maps. Took us ages to make too, but to be able to create things fairly quickly, and it's sort of part locked in and part generated. So when we play in the office, we might actually stumble upon places that we've never seen before, and that gives us the sort of insight that how the player will experience the game in a similar fashion.
Wow. Now, when we saw you at the Game Awards, I remember you telling us that we're 10 chambers collected.
Periods of time.
So you're really 8 chambers now?
Yeah, I guess so.
Our two empty chambers.
Yeah,
to be
two
filled,
empty
right?
chambers
Exactly.
right now.
And you're working with Unity on this a little bit, which I think is really cool because you know, I remember one of the great things about the Game Awards is you showed this off, and then everyone sort of said like, "What is this game?" And you know, we did a great job keeping it secret when we first talked about it. So tell us, you're really pushing, I think, the Unity tech in some interesting directions, right?
Yeah, the Unity engine has sort of taken some flack, I think, and has a bad and a wrong reputation, I think, for doing a certain type of game. And there's a bunch of titles coming out that sort of proves that being different. And for us, it's really been a very different type of experience. Being able to focus on gameplay and being able to, you know, go in and write very specific, like GPU stuff or very specific stuff.
Wow, well, that's awesome. Well, is this what people are going to get to play behind closed doors at E3?
It's not this map, actually.
Okay.
It's a different map,
wow.
but it's the same gameplay.
Yeah, no, I mean, I said, like, I think what everyone saw is that fast, visceral action, in your face, super intense, which we would expect, and then with, you know, 4 players going through this together.
Jesus.
Open up! Hurry! Open up! Open this goddamn door!
I'll get you out!
Help me! Please! Help me!
Give me your hand. I got you. Give me your other hand. Back up! Get the fuck off! Jesus! They're everywhere!
We were so many things. Husbands and wives, doctors and teachers, writers and architects. But when the world ended, all that ended too. Every day we fight for more than survival. We fight to build a new life. Alone, we're weak. But together, we might stand a chance.
Alright everybody, Baron here, and welcome to Strange Brigade. First off, thank you Strange Brigade for sponsoring this video. This is a new game that isn't coming out till August. I got to play it at E3. So let's check out the introduction and talk in a moment.
Await our heroes today.
So, now the worst is known. Seteki has been set free upon the world.
Oh dear.
A terrorist, yeah?
The like of which the world has rarely seen, if the legends are to be believed.
So how do we stop her?
An excellent question, Nalangu. I have experts here in London, translating everything we can find about Seteki.
Ah, those brave boffins, risking their lives for king and country.
I say!
We all serve in our own way, Captain Fairburn. If there's anything useful, they'll find it. Agent Brownridge's death will not be in vain.
And in the meantime?
Look at that, parachutes. So basically, the game is set in Egypt in the 1930s. Erased from ancient history and buried in a nameless tomb for 4,000 years, Sateki, the Witch Queen, has risen once again. Only one troop of daring heroes can stand against the fearsome power of Sateki and her army of mummified monstrosities. The Strange Brigade, that's us, and there I am with my double-barrel shotgun and a pretty cool golden pistol. So, this game is a mix of what I would like to call like dungeon crawler, third-person shooter, puzzler, and adventure. It is pretty awesome. So basically in this, we're exploring remarkable ruins, we're solving puzzles, and uncovering tantalizing treasures while blasting our way through an area of undead enemies in thrilling third-person action that's certain to bring out your inner adventure. So here's Sateki talking to us, raising the armies of the undead, the zombies, guys. And look at this. Now, I will say I played on console, so I'm using I'm using an Xbox One controller. And by the way, I have not played shooters on console in Lord knows how long, so I'm kind of getting, you know, my feel for the controls now.